Hi everyone, welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is. Do you know what day it is, by the way? It's Monday. It's Monday. Um, yeah, it's the 22nd of February, if I'm not mistaken, 2016. I'm your host, Ant-Man, and I'm here on WND.com surfing around looking for something to read and whatnot so I can put out a video. And I don't know, so we could discuss stuff, right? We are always aware and watching. We're watchful around the times that we live in. I don't know about you, but sometimes you learn your lesson when you train MMA. Like sometimes like some fighters develop a bad habit of waiting till they get punched in the face to realize that they're in a fight. You know what I mean? Sometimes that happens. And like I think that before before you let your guard open, leaving it open and loose so you could get punched in the face. It's good to always have your guard up and just kind of be aware and you have the sound mind that you're given to guard your heart and mind and from the lies and the deception, because that's what goes on a lot these days in our world, and that's how it's always been kind of since the fall and whatnot. If you look at things from a Christian worldview, to the unbeliever that's crazy, because you grew up thinking dinosaurs lived a long time ago and then cavemen happened and the water came from nothing, and I don't even know. It's crazy to believe, that the ancient Hebrews might have built the pyramids, but it's perfectly reasonable to think that aliens did it. I don't know. All right, I got two articles in front of me here from Cheryl Chumley, excuse me. She is a reporter for WND, I guess, and she's under the column of faith here under two articles that I pulled up that were very interesting. If you see the thumbnail, that's Donald Trump. But first, I'm going to read this other article here. Students in public schools have been increasingly handed Muslim-related assignments. Let's see what this is all about. Brave New Schools. Students given convert. Students given convert to Islam homework. Whoa. Talk about violating separation in church and state, I guess. Gersony kids assigned task to write letter of conversion. If that isn't conditioning, I don't know what is. Students at Les Beaucamp or Beaucamp High School in Gersony, located in the Channel Islands and supported by the British government, were given a homework assignment requiring them to explain to their parents why they were converting to Islam and expressing their hope for acceptance. This is social engineering on a whole different level. They think you're so weak and dumb these days, man. Like they just throw it in your face. They're simulating you to them, not us. They're not going to simulate them to us. It doesn't benefit the globalists who want to play God and try to, bring us under their system of tyranny and whatnot. But it's crazy because that's why you see that the Western civilization and the culture that comes from our heritage isn't promoted. It's actually demonized. You go up to anybody who thinks they're really educated and you ask them about America and they hate their own country. Yeah, hate the air you breathe, hate the ground you walk on, hate common sense, hate, I don't even know, man, but just hate everything except yourself, I guess. I don't know. I don't get the logic, but I don't want to. I don't want to really understand that kind of darkness. It's darkness, but it's it doesn't benefit the globalists to keep you and your mind working properly. They want to turn everything upside down in front of you. And if you're ignorant enough, you'll fall for it because you should know that your country's been through a lot and that it could get through more. And the history is I've heard this somewhere. I forgot who said it, but I don't believe in a future that'll happen no matter what we do. But I believe in a future that'll happen if we do nothing. So that's another reminder. So let's see. As the Express reported, the teacher Amber Stables said to students in her written directions, focus how would it make you feel having to tell your parents this? How could they react? They just want to stun their parents into either they just want to get a reaction out of them to gauge it, and they just want to get some kind of shock, you know what I mean, into their parents to just like I said, gauge the reaction and see where they can go from there, and it's sick, you know what I mean, that they try these things on us, don't you think? Then she then added this disclaimer to the assignment: you are not actually converting to Islam. It is purely to test your knowledge of what we have learned this year. Learned, huh? And how well you can argue objectively. But the assignment ignited a firestorm, especially as it came just a few months after officials learned Islamists were trying to take over several area schools and drive out staffers who weren't on the Muslim belief or of it. Then the Express reported students were told to sing, "This is their fight, spread Islam now, prove they're right." And domestically, I mean, that sounds like the social justice warrior of today, don't you think? They want that subversion's a real thing, man. And the art of war, Sun Tzu, it's all that kind of stuff going on. Indoctrination, planting subconsciously things in people's minds, man. And it's you know what I mean? Like, prove they're right. You could see that a lot of that social justice warrior stuff's like alive and kicking these days, and it's just, this is what they want to, and they want to agitate that. They want to kind of provoke that. They want to see more of that stuff. They want to see more factions. They want to see more division. They want to see more infighting, so that we're never focused and we're always distracted and worried about the wrong things, and making people that aren't our enemies and thinking that we're fighting someone that we shouldn't be. I don't know. It's they try to manipulate, and they're evil, man. I mean, they're corrupt straight up, because they allow this kind of stuff, and they know what it is. It's total experimenting on the public, and it's mind control. It's part of that. It's part of like being a part of this grid, this matrix that they want you to accept multiculturalism and believe that it works. In ideology and just philosophically and in reality, it does not work. And as noble as a thought that you want us all to live together and sing Kumbaya and hold hands, and I agree that sounds nice, but in reality it doesn't work. It should be the way things are. It's the way God wants it to be, but it's not the way it is. And you can't go about things in an unrealistic way. I'd rather have one suicide bomber get shot and stopped from killing a whole bunch of other people. I'd rather lose that life than 20 innocent, unexpecting people who were just minding their own business. And domestically, just a month later, students in Minnesota were taught to sing a song about Ramadan as a Christmas concert, while those in Virginia were assigned a task requiring them to write the Islamic Declaration of Faith in Arabic. That's a little tall order for a little kid, don't you think? Let's go on to the next article. That's just ridiculous. Muslims to Trump, we won't be your punching bag. We won't be your punching bag, Trump. We won't be abused by you. Warned GOP frontrunner to back off fiery rhetoric. I'm going to use this picture of Trump as the thumbnail for my video, because he's just, and it's funny because I opened up talking about how, as Christians we should always be aware, on guard. You know what I mean? And it's true. The enemy never sleeps, and he's always looking for people as agents around you to stop the coming of the kingdom through us and through God's Spirit that's always moving toward that. And it's always there to remind you, man, like, this world is not our home. And the enemy here, he's roaring around, like he's just prowling around looking for people that are vulnerable and weak to take advantage of, and people who don't have knowledge, because people perish for a lack of knowledge. It's hard to defend yourself against the enemy when you don't have the right weapons. And our weapons are our weapons are unseen. They are weapons of the spiritual realm. They're not physical. We're not social justice warriors. We're not libertarians either. Maybe you are, and you're a Christian, but I don't think Christianity is about being libertarian. But it's not about passivity either. It's not about being a pacifist either. But that's a whole different topic for another day. So let's get into this one. The Muslim Public Affairs Council, MPAC, have challenged Republican frontrunner presidential hopeful Donald Trump to a debate, saying the billionaire businessman has done nothing but incite fear among Americans since he's taken to the campaign trail, and vowing to put a stop to his blunt rhetoric. Ever since you announced your run for presidency of the United States, you have scapegoated the American Muslim community and other minority groups for all your perceived ills of America. MPAC wrote in a letter to the campaign, The Hill reported. The group also blasted Trump as being scared of anything that is different than you. The comments came on the heels of Trump's repeat of a story of U.S. General John Pershing executing Muslim prisoners in the Philippines with bullets dipped in pig's blood, The Hill reported. You rely on the promotion of fear and internet lies to fuel the flames of hate and divisiveness across our country, the letter went on. Well, we have news for you. We will no longer be bullied. We will no longer be your punching bag. Impact. I don't know what that means. What are you gonna do about it? He's. Are you gonna justify his words for some reason? Are you gonna justify your some kind of a violent act because of words? Because if we can't be civilized, maybe we could go back to where you came from. Because we're not. We're. I mean, from what I understand, progress to mean is to go forward, not backward. And I'm not a progressive or anything. I don't claim to know everything like the progressives do. But it's funny because no, that's not the way we resolve things here. And if you're offended, you can be offended. We shouldn't have that be our God these days, and you know what I mean. And it's ridiculous. That kind of stuff is just it's out of you got to be out of your mind. So this guy's saying he doesn't want to be his punching bag anymore. Impact issues. He issued the challenge for a debate on the issues. Okay, that's reasonable. That's civilized. That's going forward. That's progress. As long as you keep it clean and honest. He's raised about Islam and so he wants to debate on issues. He's raised about Islam and Muslims, right? After another well-known Muslim group, the Council on American Islam or Islamic Relations, called Trump out for his comments about the pig's blood bullets. Donald Trump's inflammatory rhetoric has crossed the line from spreading hatred to inciting violence, said Nihad Awad. So we're supposed to be afraid of them, you see? That's how terrorists work. Negotiating with terrorists work like that. They tell you, you give me something and I'll keep you safe. Safe from what? Well, them. That's how the mafia works. Oh yeah, that's how pretty much our government works now. So, all these tactics are kind of like, you know what I mean? They go together so well that they are all on the same team with each other, because that tactic of terrorism and being a thug and a gangster is out there. It's a criminal culture, and it's the mentality of it. It's something you gotta watch out for. Let's see. So yeah, you better shut up or I'll fight you, kind of thing. So it's inciting violence. He says National Executive Director he spelled "for" wrong, for the Council on American Islamic Relations in a separate statement reported by The Hill. So by directly stating that the only way to stop terrorism is to murder Muslims in graphic and religiously offensive ways, he places the millions of innocent, law-abiding citizens in the American Muslim community at risk from rogue vigilantes. See? Ooh, you should be afraid of the boogeyman if you don't keep it politically correct, right? This kind of mentality is also kind of like brought forth from like the Frankfurt Institute, from Columbia University, and critical theory and pseudoscience that tells people that to fight kind of like this like stereotypes, you have to use it's total circular reasoning, and it's total nonsense. Okay, you don't fight stereotypes with stereotypes. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't even know how to even explain something that absurd, but they've made a whole entire science of it, of a pseudoscience. It's not a real science, not a real, you know what I mean? These people think they're intellectuals. In my opinion, that's funny, because it reminds me of a Bible verse that goes, "In professing to be wise, they became fools." Right? But this is terrorism when people talk to you like that. They don't know their Constitution very well. They need to be educated on the Constitution, because they don't understand what kind of a country this is, maybe. And you got to understand that you're here to know that and to inform these people, and we do it. And remember 1 Corinthians 13, that we do everything in love, because without love you're nothing. Don't become what you're fighting. It's not worth it. Love, even if they kill you, like the Lord Jesus, because what are these people fighting over? Scraps and more stuff to be burned, right? It's all wood and stubble. But you know what I mean? We should have contempt for it when people want to treat people bad over this. You know what I mean? It's, in the long run, we should care about people's souls and not get too caught up in all this. Trump's exact statements made from South Carolina a few days ago went like this. Pershing in the early 20th century took 50 bullets and he dipped them in pig's blood, and he had his men load his rifles, and he lined up like 50 people, and they shot 49 of those people. And the 50th person, he said, you go back to your people and you tell them what happened, and for 25 years there wasn't a problem. Well, do your facts and check them out, and you know what to do, man. You know, we use our cognitive mind, we're critical thinkers, so remember that.